All right guys, we're at VERSA-LOK and we got a jam-packed show for you today. By the time you're done with this video, you guys are gonna know how to install your own retaining wall stairs, your own retaining walls, your own columns, and freestanding retaining walls. And the reason I'm at VERSA-LOK is, guys, this is the one block that I do 90% of my projects with. I've probably installed at least 500,000, maybe even 1,000,000 square feet of retaining walls. And this is the block I use over and over again because it's the one block that does it all. Everything you see here today has been done with the same block. By the time you're done with this video, you can successfully install your own project. Trust me, when you're done with this, you're gonna have a great project. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. All right, there's two typical stair methods. One is the cut-in method and the other one is the pyramid method. We are doing the pyramid method. All of my jobs are always done with the pyramid method because it's much sturdier. Let me describe the difference between the two. The cut-in method is where you take a bank of soil and you angle it and you literally just place your retaining wall blocks on top of it. But what happens is there's a lot of pressure. Every time you take a footfall or you take a step, you typically use the same pattern over and over again. What happens is over the course of time, one block will start to sink while the other one will stay where it's at. And then all of a sudden, your stairs are kittywampus. The pyramid method, on the other hand, actually we're creating a pyramid with the blocks. It's much sturdier, much stronger, and it can withstand those continual footfalls. All right, guys, this is the base for the pyramid method of stairs. I got Jim with me, and we're gonna talk about some of the details that I really want Jim to explain to you, because Jim holds the training courses here at VERSA-LOK.
All of our block, all of this stuff is made out of our one block. But what we've done is we've modified it on site. We split the block. Those corners are just our split block in half. Basically, you take a block, we'll show you how to split it, very easy, comes in half, and now we're gonna flip it upside down. It's just so the groove marks don't show, so everything looks nice and tight. You look at our columns, they're just 4 of our half units. Split 2 block, you get 4 units. Freestanding walls, you just split the back off. Split the 2 inches off, now you've got 10 inches of freestanding wall. You can build nice seat walls that you can sit on around the campfire.
Perfect. Okay, so let's come in tight here, guys. I want to show you something. This is your foundation for your stairs. So this is the next level. We'll come up, and come up, and we're going to show you the entire process. But before you get to this point, I want to show you about the basing, because the base is where your success basically lies. You've got to get this step right. In fact, I will challenge you to understand that you may spend as much time on the base as you will on building the rest of the project. Let's actually show you how you level a base block here. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you're level from side to side, and then you also have to make sure that you're level front to back. So we want to make sure the block is level this way as well as this way. And then once this individual block is level, we have to make sure that the block next to it is level with this block. It's got to be level side to side. It's got to be level front to back, but it's also got to be level this way. When I slide the level across, I shouldn't have this lip. If you can come in close and hit the square, you see this lip right here? Is it focused? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you see this little bit of a lip? This is okay, this is within tolerances. If this was bigger than this was going to eventually give you problems. So the ability to slide from one block to the next block and to make sure that they're level is going to give you your overall success. You can see that the bubble is pretty level here. I mean, hey, this is just a video demonstration, guys. But now, on this base level, on this platform, all of these blocks are level all the way across from front to back, and all the way from the wing wall all the way across. There's none of this. Every single one of you watching this video right now has probably driven down the street and seen a wall that does this eventually. Sometimes they're built like that. Sometimes that happens over the course of time, and that's a combination of either not getting the base leveled right out of the start or not having proper compaction beneath your retaining wall. In fact, you can start to install a retaining wall and have a gorgeous looking project, and a year later it looks like it's doing the wave. It's because you didn't get the base compacted well enough. So make sure that you compact your subsoil Then make sure you pack your base material. Now, some of you guys have asked me to slow down and define what some of these words mean. Subsoil is your raw dirt, your raw earth. Compact it. If it's squishy in any places, you may have to remove that and then replace that with good material. I consider good material to be 3/4 clear. That's what I use for my base material, or class 5. Both are acceptable. Jim, what do you typically see contractors using for base material out
Yep,
there?
you hit it right on the head, Stan. It's either 3/4 inch rock or class 5, which is 3/4 inch rock down to dust. Those fine particles pack really well together. When you use a plate compactor, all those little particles migrate and they get really tight and nice, and by the time you're done compacting with a plate compactor, it should be like you're on this concrete. The plate compactor should be jumping on you. You should be knowing that you've got a nice base going. And what happens when your block's not level, Stan? What are we doing? We're hammering in the level, right?
Oh, yeah.
No problem with a solid block, right, Stan?
So, this is not what you'd use to level a retaining wall with. I have no clue why you handed me that, but we use a dead blow. Do we have a dead blow here anywhere, guys? Because I really want to make sure these guys have all of the right tools when they get started. All right, we've got 3 different hammers here, guys. You know, I was kind of making a joke, I threw this out. You can actually use a rubber mallet when you're doing this. You don't need a specialty hammer, but if you're gonna be building retaining walls for a living, then you will need this if this is your one-time project. You can get by with a rubber mallet. This is called a dead blow, and it's actually filled with material. And so when you hit the block, it stops it from bouncing. Okay, watch. See, this is your bounce, a dead blow will not bounce. And the reason you don't want the bounce is because it just gives you a better contact with the block, more control over it. This is, I believe, a 5-pound. This is the one that I use on every single one of my job sites. They do make bigger versions. I've never used one this big. That's what she said.
Do the stairs first.
So what you see, guys, happening right now is they're putting the second course for the stairs on.
We got a better push.
And they're using the VERSA-LOK lifter. If you wonder what's in his hand, that's a VERSA-LOK lifter, and it just makes handling these blocks that much easier and nicer. All right, guys, I'm gonna break in here because I talked to VERSA-LOK, and they're gonna give away 10 of these lifters to you guys. They're also gonna give away 10 hats and 10 t-shirts. So go over to Dirt Monkey University. Right on the front page is gonna be a spot where you could sign up and hopefully win yourself a hat, a t-shirt, or a lifter. Okay, he's leveling the backs right now. He's making sure that the front of the blocks are level by measuring the backs. The reason he's not measuring the front, it's a rough face. So, because it's a smooth face on the back, he has more control over exactly where everything falls. So now you can get the idea of what we talk about, the pyramid method. We use a lot of block in this. In fact, this is a 32-inch wide staircase. We calc this out at 13 square feet, right? Yep. Yeah, that's right, Stan.
Yep, that's right. 13 square feet.
Yep. Now, an important thing to note is when you're trying to determine how wide of a staircase you want, try to use whole blocks. Now, you can look right here and see they're using 2 blocks side by side. If they wanted a wider staircase, then they would go with 3 blocks side by side by side.
Now they're going to lay their second course down. They're going to start the corners. They're going to make sure that they've got 3/4 of an inch setback on the retaining wall side, but on the stair side it's going to be vertical. Our stairs are always the same width going all the way up. So we got to make sure that the cheek walls next to the stairs are vertical, but for your retaining walls, they're going to have a setback, and the setback is determined by your pins. And we'll show you right here, the guy's pinning the block. You guys go to the next one, Joe. Yep.
Okay, so this is something that Jim pointed out that I really need to lay out for you guys. This face is vertical because the stairs never change, but this face, it's actually stepped back. Now he's pinning them. This is a solid block that gets pinned because it's got set pinholes, and then these pinholes actually match up with the grooves beneath it. I freaking love these blocks. The reason I like these blocks is when I'm building these retaining walls, I don't have to core fill this block. I can build up and then I can put my drainage aggregate at least 12 to 18 inches of it right behind the block. And I'm not trying to shove aggregate down into the blocks. My preferred block by far. I want to talk about running bond real quick. I want to actually show you. We don't have the running bond on. Now, some blocks, that's mandatory, especially if it's hollow core. You've got to have your running bond dead on. With hollow blocks, you have to have the running bond dead on because as the aggregate filters through the blocks, it locks them together. But these are solid blocks and they're already pinned together, making the running bond not as important. I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Hollow block, running bond. Block, split the middle. Critical that you get that because this block is hollow. You've got to make sure that you get everything core filled. Solid block. Running bond, not quite as critical. In fact, you can see where the running bond is less than 3/4 and you can still build that retaining wall all the way up with that. If it bothers you, it bothers me. Now structurally it's okay, but aesthetically I like to keep my lines perfect. I'm kind of picky that way.
One thing I want to show you here, Stan, with the solid block, if you're a contractor in a pinch and you maybe don't have a saw or you're a homeowner, you also have the option to split the block at any point just to finish it into your column. Which is kind of another unique thing about the VERSA-LOK block system.
There's two different ways to split a block. So if you're gonna split a block by hand using a chisel and a hammer, first you wanna smark it, and then score it all the way around the block. You score the top and you score the bottom equally where you want the split to occur. Then after you've got it scored, you do a quick chisel on both sides. It doesn't have to be that deep, it doesn't have to be that thorough. You just want to have a weak point marking the top and the bottom of the block. Now that he's got the top done, he flips it over, and now he's going to do the exact same thing on the bottom. You got to schmark that block all the way around to make sure it cracks right where you want it to. Now that he's got his score mark done, he's going to go to that groove on the back side of that block, and then he's going to drive it home right there. Now that block's ready to split. And right about now, his arm is feeling it. That's how you hand split a block. So we've hand split a block. Let's use a hydraulic splitter to show you the difference. First, we put our marks where we want the block to split, and then let's do it. Don't blink. It takes about that long with this splitter.
Tighten it down. That easy.
So now we have that half block we talked about.
We split the blocks instead of saw cutting them to get the same texture on the side as the face. We're gonna start on the column and we're using all half blocks, right?
Correct.
All right, tell me about the column as you're building it if you guys wouldn't mind. I see you're flipping the blocks upside down.
Yep.
And
One thing that we also like to focus on is that we're using all right-handed or all left-handed side blocks as we run up. So it's a dog chasing its tail with the rough side on both sides exposed, okay? But we use all the lefts. It keeps things nice and congruent across as you go all the way up. Switching it back from left on the bottom to right to the next row and then left again to the top row.
again, we're using the same block. This block is this block, split and flipped upside down. Glue is your friend. VERSA-LOK makes a special concrete adhesive, and we recommend gluing every course. In this video, we're not showing it, but we would be gluing this out in the field. So guys, second step is complete. You can see how they've got everything laid up. The wing walls are tight. Okay, so let's lay in the third step, and I want to show you as they're laying in the third step how they do this. So they put the third step, the treads. You can see that it doesn't go all the way up to the front like the other one. Now you are laying the front, this block over the tail of the block below it, right?
Yep.
By how much typically?
Usually what I'm looking at is my spacer line, and I try to split the difference on the gap. It just gives that cap unit a little bit of an overhang. I call it an eyebrow effect.
You always want to start at your corners and build out.
Okay. It's a great point. So you can see what Jim is actually talking about is he starts right there. By starting in the corner and working out, you always know that you have a solid half unit in that corner. If you try to work your way into a corner, you may end up cutting some kind of a weird little sliver and fitting it in, making it a weak point. See how he sets that? You can see the set back a little bit better now. Now these corner units would typically be glued in place. Now let's watch him. I want to show you specifically, watch how these pins go in place. Sometimes you have to hammer them in, sometimes they just drop in. We'll see which ones happens here.
You know, the other thing that maybe is pointed out is you can use just regular gray block for the back block that you don't see. This is, we haven't said this before, but this is our nice blended block. This is our Lakeshore blend. It's got 3 colors in it. Well, a gray block is typically less expensive. We don't have to add any colors. So maybe you use a gray block, maybe you use chip block that you normally wouldn't put on a job site. Maybe that would be a take back, but you can put it in the back of the stairs where you don't see it.
Now this is a 4-tread riser, but what happens if you need to do a 6 or an 8? Let's address that next. Now I've done double pyramids.
Double pyramids, yep.
I've done double pyramids, but if you do a double pyramid, what I'm saying is, imagine you see this set of stairs done, and now we need to keep going twice as high as what this allows me to do. I backfill the stairs, I compact the crap out of that soil back there, and then I do another pyramid behind the original pyramid. Have you ever seen anybody else do that, Jim?
Yep, typically that's done. Now on, say, a new construction site where there's not good subsoil, we've had guys build stairs that have been 10 feet tall and there's been block all the way back just to make sure that you're on nice, good subsoil.
So there's your 4 stair treads going up. Now if you wanted to go 5 or 6, you would have literally just made your pyramid further back. And you can, right now, you could add on to the back side of that pyramid and keep going up. Now in the column, they flip the blocks upside down. Here's why.
And the reason we do that is to hide this groove here. Now, if we were to leave this sitting like this, it's much more visible. Also, when you do a step down on a wall, we have this same issue, where if we don't flip this block upside down, this groove becomes much more visible. So if it's on a setback, like in a retaining wall, that groove is going to be visual. It's not very appealing. All right, we just want to clean that up, and that's why we flip that thing over. That way, you have a nice solid edge to work on.
Now as this column is going up, you'll notice that it has a natural void space right in the middle. It's the perfect place to run your electrical lines. If you put a column at the end of a driveway or around a patio and you want to have a spot for a light, you can run it right down the center of that column. Something that I want to show you is, now you can make a freestanding wall or a seat wall out of the same material, but you have to do one extra step to it.
And we have a spot, if we have a standard block, you can take a look at the grooves and how they're set up.
So now a freestanding wall, you can see both sides of the wall, right?
Yep.
Now this is the standard unit. You've gotten that groove on the back and you've literally split it off. You didn't saw it off,
correct.
You split it off.
Yep, and this groove is designed to help you make that split.
Can we split the back off the block too? I'd like to show them how you make that freestanding block. Now to be very clear, to make the freestanding wall, we have to cut the very backs of the VERSA-LOK standard unit off to have the same rough face on both sides of the block. So here's what we're lining up, guys. We're actually lining up the blade with the actual groove. Just makes life a little bit easier. It tightens it up.
Just keep level. There you go.
That is the sliver. Now to make your life easier, we're going to complete this entire project including stair treads, retaining wall caps, and column caps using VERSA-LOK's A and B cap unit. You can get specialty units, but you don't have to. Let's find out more. Jim, anything specific you want to tell me about the A and B cap?
Yeah, just a little quick, Bs are bigger in the back. If you're a hunter, triple BB, As are smaller in the back. Both are 14 inches on the face, so they look the same from the face. But an A and a B cap, when you put them together, go straight. Otherwise, all A's will help you do outside curves, and all B's will help you do inside curves.
Now the capstones will have a smooth side and a rough side. On a seat wall, put the smooth side facing the way people will sit so they don't scuff up the back of their legs.
See what you look at.
Stan, one thing I want to show you on these caps, as you guys are putting this in, is they actually have a beveled edge on the face of it.
Okay.
So when you look at these caps here, you'll have a beveled edge here. The bottom side is going to be a square. It's mainly designed for aesthetics. That way you don't have any boogers or anything like that that might be sticking out on the top of the cap block. Just make sure you have all those lined up in here when you're putting your cap on. This way.
Now for the column, are these full units or did you cut or modify these capstones?
So these caps are all cut to do this. This is just one of the many options you could use to cap a pillar like this. There are also precast units that we have. Generally a 24-inch unit is what you're going to use to do this. With the 20-inch column, that gives you your 2-inch relief all the way around. Gives you that eyebrow effect. And like we said, this is just an option using our manufactured cap units, but you can use a natural stone or a precast unit of some kind. Whatever is going to meet your fancy or, whatever the look that you're trying to go for, we can hit it with that.
Probably field time, if you were going to build a column and you've done 1 or 5 of them in the past, you can probably put a column together and after the stones are split, 30 minutes tops.
Yep.
We're doing the step downs on the retaining wall and you can see that they have actually taken the time to split the end unit. This little bit right here matches the same as the face. If they don't split this unit, then they're going to get this look on the ends. And actually, what I'd like to do is show them the difference. Okay. Oh, perfect, thank you. So the reason they split these end units is because there's one that's not split. It's just a different pattern. Be picky. Those little tiny details are going to set your company apart. That little detail may not seem like much, but that's what the customer is going to see every day. You'll never have to look at it again, but they'll look at it all the time. That's it. It's just that little bit. And once you start to do these things, it just becomes second nature. Now guys, I know this has been a longer video and I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. The reason I made it longer is I wanted to make sure that everything was in this video that you needed to go out into the field and be successful on your own. And remember, make sure you hop over to Dirt Monkey University because VERSA-LOK's giving away 10 of those free lifters, a bunch of hats, a bunch of t-shirts just to you guys. And if this video has helped you out or you want to see more videos like this or something completely different, let me know in the comments down below. God bless you guys and go have yourselves an amazing project.